The following episode is based on publicly available reporting from Australian and international news sources and court records. Erin Patterson has pleaded not guilty and remains innocent until proven guilty. All individuals are presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome back, Dark Detectives, to another episode of Dead, Serious, and Sinister. I'm Rose Black, your guide through the smoke and mirrors of the world's darkest crimes.
And I'm Tina Demise, here to add the macabre sass and remind you, behind every crime scene tape, there's a whole lot of sinister.
Tonight's case takes us down under, all the way to a quiet little town in Victoria, Australia. A family lunch meant to heal old wounds turned into a toxic Last Supper.
That's right. One table, one plate of Beef Wellington, and 3 good people never walked away. So grab your fork and your flashlight, because this one, it's deadly delicious.
This is Mushroom Madness, the deadly lunch. And trust us, you'll never look at dinner with the in-laws the same way again. Take a good look at this plate. Beef Wellington. A sunny July afternoon. A quiet lunch table in rural Australia. Except this wasn't just a meal. This was a setup. They weren't just here to eat. This was a peace offering.
Erin Patterson had always been complicated. People described her as quiet, but also moody. Quick to cut people off, quick to tell a lie when it suited her. She married Simon Patterson, young, and the two of them had kids. But by 2020, cracks were showing. They separated, got back together, separated again.
Simon's parents, Dawn and Gail Patterson, were church-going, deeply religious, deeply disapproving of Erin. To them, she was wayward, she didn't come to church, she didn't seem right. Erin, meanwhile, felt judged, trapped. She lied about having cancer. She lied about Simon having cancer. She lied about Simon's supposed heart problems. All of this came out in court, a tangled web of lies, dating back years. Importantly, Erin and Simon's children were not harmed and survived the ordeal, a small silver lining in the tragic story.
And yet, on July 29th, 2023, she invited Simon's family to her home in Leongatha, Victoria. The marriage was over. She was trying, or pretending, to patch things up for the sake of the kids. Simon himself declined to come, but his parents Dawn and Gail came. Heather Wilkinson, Gail's sister, came too, along with Heather's husband Ian. They believed in forgiveness. They thought they were showing her grace. This was their way.
But forgiveness wasn't on the menu. Poison was. This is the infamous Leongatha mushroom lunch. Erin served her estranged in-laws a meal laced with Amanita phalloides, the death cap mushroom. 3 victims dead, 1 clinging to life, and 1 woman now on trial for murder.
Come morning, everyone's sick, vomiting, liver failure. 3 die within days. Gail Patterson, Dawn Patterson, Heather Wilkinson. The 4th, Ian Wilkinson, survives, but only after a liver transplant. Erin, she claimed it was all an accident, but her plate was a different color, and she was caught dumping her food dehydrator at the local tip.
And those aren't her only skeletons. Simon Patterson had been hospitalized twice before, in 2021 and 2022, with mysterious stomach and liver problems. He survived, but police are now re-examining those illnesses.
Erin also bragged online about slipping mushrooms into brownies and hiding ingredients in her kids' food. Family and friends now say those jokes don't seem so funny anymore.
Prosecutors say this was cold-blooded and calculated. They point to the separated plates, the lies about where the mushrooms came from, and the frantic effort to destroy evidence. The defense insists Erin was just careless, that she misidentified the mushrooms and panicked when everyone got sick.
But as the trial unfolds, it's clear this family was a powder keg. Religious judgment, resentment, lies, and maybe a little revenge. It all came to a head at one lunch table.
The trial of Erin Patterson has captivated Australia and true crime fans worldwide. It began in early 2024 and has been marked by emotional testimony and shocking revelations. Prosecutors laid out a case that paints Erin as calculating, serving the deadly mushrooms deliberately, trying to mask it as an accident.
One of the standout moments came when Erin admitted to lying about her own health and her husband Simon's health. She acknowledged fabricating stories about cancer and other illnesses, but still denies intentionally poisoning the family.
The prosecution presented forensic evidence linking the deadly Amanita phalloides toxins to the meal Erin prepped, down to traces found on specific plates. And then there's this suspicious behavior, like Erin dumping her food dehydrator shortly after the poisoning and wiping her phone clean of messages.
Meanwhile, the defense argues it was a tragic mistake. Erin claims she misidentified the mushrooms and panicked when the family fell ill. Her lawyers emphasize the lack of direct evidence proving intent to kill.
The jury has been carefully weighing mountains of evidence, witness statements, social media posts, medical records, and expert testimonies. Closing arguments are expected soon, with a verdict possibly by late 2025.
No matter the outcome, the trial has exposed the dark fractures of a family, religious judgment, bitterness, and secrets, all boiling over at one deadly lunch.
If convicted, Erin Patterson could spend the rest of her life in prison. If acquitted, she'll still be one of the most notorious names in Australian true crime.
And somewhere in the middle of it all, 3 innocent people lost their lives trying to do the right thing, to forgive, to move on, to give her another chance.
Remember their names, because behind every true crime story, there are real people, real lives cut tragically short. Gail Patterson, a devoted mother and grandmother, known for her kindness and strong faith. Don Patterson, a man rooted in family and community, whose life ended far too soon. Heather Wilkinson, Gail's sister, a beloved aunt and friend, taken in the prime of her life.
And Ian Wilkinson, Heather's husband, the lone survivor who carries scars you can't see, scars that will last a lifetime. These were not just victims of poison. They were a family. They were loved, and their memories deserve more than silence.
So when you hear this story, remember the laughter, the gatherings, the fragile threads of forgiveness that were stretched far too thin. Remember the lives that mattered, because that's what true crime should never forget.
This is Dead, Serious, and Sinister, where poison isn't just in the plot, it's on the plate. And while the adults around the table suffered deeply, Erin and Simon's children, thankfully, survived this nightmare. Stay sharp, stay wary, stay alive.
Bye.